Okay, so for number 23, it said copy and complete the steps for solving the equation. So I have 35 plus b is equal to a negative 90. All they were looking for you to do is fill in the steps they had there in understanding how I'm teaching you to solve. All right, so I have 35 minus some number plus b is equal to negative 90 minus some number. All right, so this looks a little funky, doesn't it? All right, but go back to what we know. If you were to solve this, what would you do? If you were to solve this, what would you do? Mateo? No, you're not doing minus 35. What have I, well, not what should be in here. What would you do? Excellent. That's exactly right. How many of you guys agree that if I told you to solve that problem, that's what you all would do? How many of you guys agree with that? All right, so Mateo, you did make a good point, though. They wanted us to say what this is. Well, knowing that we would have added a negative 35 to each side, what does that mean that we're subtracting instead? 35. So isn't adding a negative 35, Angela, you're listening to me. Isn't adding a negative 35 the same thing as subtracting a positive 35? Aren't those two the same thing? Do you guys realize that's the same thing? So that's where this 35 would go in here. I'm subtracting 35 from each side. I prefer adding a negative 35. And the reason is right here. This is 90 minus 35. Well, I need to do adding the opposite here for me to see really what that math is. All right, so that's that step in us filling this in. So let's finish up what they have here. And then they have b is equal to, and they have this empty space here. All right, I would absolutely do adding the opposite here, because adding the opposite clears up a lot of confusion. 90 minus 35. Someone's going to say to me, somebody is going to do this. Somebody's going to do that. How many of you guys could see that? Right? If I simply have negative 90 minus 35, a lot of people are going to do that. Is that correct? No. And the moment I do adding the opposite, how many of you guys are like, oh, that's right, I have to add those. So always do adding the opposite. Do not do subtraction. I'm still seeing in some of your work subtraction. Please do not do subtraction. Wesley, you have notes out. You're listening to what I'm saying. This is going to help you understand what we're doing, please. All right. Well, if I take 35 minus 35, what do I get? If I do 35 minus 35, Alex, what do I get? 0. So I have 0 plus b equals, well, instead of subtracting these, I need to be adding them. So it's 90 plus 35, which gives me 125, right? So 0 plus b is equal to a negative 125, which means our answer is a negative 125. I do want to see for now with you guys, I want to see that step. Because I want you doing a double check that you added the right number. All right, what else can I do for you guys? Let's take a look at number 42. So let's take a look at number 42. So Wesley, definitely take notes on this and just put this page number on there so when you go to do your homework, you have a guide, okay? So for number 42, I have negative 215 plus e plus a negative 43 is equal to a negative 145. Now remember, I require that we simplify that left side. Why? Why is it not simplified? Angela, why is it not simplified? I do. I need to add my like terms, and those two are my like terms. So as you guys know, I'm not taking random math as your main work. If you need to do that off to the side like I did here with showing this, that's fine with me, but I have to see what you're doing and you're solving it, your process work. All right, so what I require is that we move our like terms next to each other. If you did that small step, you, I guarantee, probably would not have added wrong and gotten a positive 172, because I'm making you think about what the numbers are. It's a negative 215 plus a negative 43. Why was I able to move the order of these numbers? Come on. Why was I able to move the order of these numbers? Frankie? Because it's only addition. Keep that in mind for 45. Okay? So now I'm going to add these. So 215 plus 43 is going to give me, that's 852. Negative 258 plus E is equal to a negative 145. Mateo? No, adding two negatives is a negative. Multiplying two negatives is a positive. If I'm adding a negative 215, think about this. Mateo, look at me. So let's say you're in debt. You owe your mom money. Okay, you borrowed $10 for a movie that you want to go with friends. You also borrowed another $15 for like stuff to eat at the movie. Are you with me? So you borrowed it from her. So you've got to figure out how much you owe her. You're in debt a negative $10, right? And you're in debt a negative $15. So how much money are you in debt? And it's a negative $25 because they're both negative amounts. Does that make sense to you? So from a math perspective, it's impossible for you to add two negative numbers and get positive. Does that kind of make sense, using that as an example? When I'm multiplying two negative numbers, it's positive. When I'm adding two negative numbers, when I'm adding two numbers with the same sign, the answer is a sign of the numbers, whether it's both positive or both negative. All right, now from here, what do I do? Jack, what do I do? Excellent. Excellent. That's exactly right. This says E plus a negative 258. So I add a positive 258 to the negative 258, and I get a 0 plus E equals. I want to see that step. Here I have to subtract. So, because I'm adding two numbers with different signs. So I have 258 minus 145. That's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 1. So this is 113. 258 is bigger, greater absolute value, and it's positive. So E is equal to a positive 113. All right, this is going to lead us into what we're doing in this section in today's math. 45. Let's take a look at 45. 45 said, I have 183 plus K minus 20 is equal to a negative 15. Can I simplify that left side? Layla? Absolutely. I need to move my like terms together to add them. What's the problem right now in this one with moving our like terms? Christiana? There is subtraction. So I must do adding the opposite to be able to move terms. How many of you guys knew that the moment I wrote that down? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do adding the opposite here. All right, so I end up with 183 plus a negative 20 plus K is equal to a negative 115. And now I just add my like terms. You guys cool? Okay. You guys can finish that if you need to. Put this away, get your notes out so I can kind of keep going. Yes? It's not possible because your like terms here is 183 and 20. Okay, let me ask you this. That means to me, that means you added a negative 83 to each side and then you added a positive 20 to each side. Okay, isn't my requirement that you combine your like terms? I'm not saying you can't get it right. I'm saying it's a bad habit to do that. I want to get you guys in good habits. Does that make sense? So I don't care that you're getting the right answer. I want to teach you good habits in solving math. Does that make sense to you, Frankie? Awesome. All right. You know, I show that we have 45 tonight. I'd like you to change that to 46. Jack, will you go up there and change that to 46 for me, please? So change that to 46 because I gave you guys 45 already. Thank you, sweetheart. All right. So today is the 22nd. Awesome. Thank you, Jack. So the problems that we've had so far have had subtraction in them, or addition in them. I need to show you when you have subtraction in your problems. So today we are doing 2.5, continued, C-O-N-T'(D), continued. Solve one-step equations. With addition / subtraction. Yes, of course, you don't have to sharpen your pencil. Just quietly go ahead and get up. Oh, go try it. Go try it. I haven't tried it yet. Yes. I'm so excited that we have that now. I know. We just got them in. I know, little things in life make us excited, but I'm very excited to have that. So yes, you guys do not have to ask me to go sharpen your pencil. Just quietly go ahead and do that. All right, so I just want to go ahead and show you. The biggest thing I want to tell you is must use adding the opposite on all subtraction, then follow process steps to solve. That's what I want you guys making sure you're doing. So let's go ahead and do an example, and then I'm going to do a story problem for you. So if I have b minus 12 is equal to a negative 49, and I want you to solve. Rewrite your given, please. Somebody's going to say to me, I need to add a negative 12 here, because they see a positive 12. How many of you guys can see how that mistake can be made? All right, we can alleviate that mistake right away by simply adding the opposite. And then there is no confusion as to what I have to add. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. It will help as you are learning how to do this. That one step is going to be very beneficial to you to ensure that you're getting these right. All right, now at this step, now what you're saying to yourself is, what can I add to negative 12 to get 0? What can I add to a negative 12 to get 0? Wesley? What's that? I'm sorry? Oh, did I take it? Thank you very much, Lena. What can I add to a negative 12 to make it 0? Christiana? A positive 12. So once I do that adding the opposite, then I've created the equations that we've been doing for the past 2 days. And now you just follow the same steps. I have b plus negative 12 plus positive 12 gives me a 0, equals, well, I have a negative 49 plus a positive 12, which means I need to subtract these. The 49 is bigger, it's already on the top. Go ahead and do the subtraction. 9 minus 2 is 7. 4 minus 1 is 3. 49 had the greater absolute value. It was negative, so this is a negative 37. So b equals a negative 37. The key to that is change all subtraction to addition, the number after to its opposite, and then just do what we've been doing. Are you guys cool with that? All right, let's look at a story problem. So here's our example. This is example 4 from page 88, because nobody's going to walk up to you on the street and just give you b minus 36 is equal to 42 and tell you to solve it. You have to know how, where you need it. You know what I mean? No one's gonna, if someone does that to you, smile at them and just say, have a good day, and walk away. All right, because that's something you should be concerned about, right? Yes. I'm going to do this. Okay. So if I take a look at number 4, it says, your friends, please take good notes on this, because number 21 and 22 that you have tonight, you use this as your guide, okay? So your friends VCR, for all of us that had VCRs in our life, I don't know, did you have VCR? Long time ago? Maybe you still have it, maybe? Right? So some of the old videos, you might still have them to watch it?
I changed them like this.
The tapes that you sent? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shh. Yes. Yes. All right. So, excuse me, guys, your friend's VCR costs $328 less than her TV. Her VCR costs $179. How much did her TV cost? Do not do any math in your head at all right now. How much did her TV cost? Remember, I am training you to write equations. Okay. How many of you guys noticed that first sentence is a math sentence? How many of you guys noticed it, right? Did you guys see? Excuse me. Did you guys see that that was kind of a math sentence? Friends VCR's cost is $325 less than the TV. So I'm going to throw that word is in there because there's our is. Her friend's VCR cost is, what operation or what goes with is in math? Romano? No, is. Wesley? No, is. Come on, you guys. We already did ones like this. What is? Mia? No. Oh, Lord, help us all. What is? Christiana? It's equals. Come on, you guys. Is equals. The cost is. Cost equals. Is equals. So the Friends VCR's cost is $328 less than her TV. So if I have $328 less than something, what does that mean? What does less than 328 less than mean in math? Oh gosh, I hope you guys are better at this one. Lord help us all. Layla, you got it? Subtraction. That right there means minus. What am I subtracting? Minus what? Roberto? No. 328. If you have $10 less in your pocket than your friend, what am I subtracting? No. You're the $10, don't you? If you have $10 less than somebody, aren't you taking their money and you're subtracting 10 off? Does that make sense to you? So what am I subtracting off here? What am I subtracting off here? That means $328. This phrase here means this when it says less. The cost is $320 less than. That means I'm subtracting $328 from something. What am I subtracting $328 from? What information based on this sentence am I subtracting the $328 from? Frankie? The TV. So this part of this sentence means the TV's cost minus that $328. That's what that phrase in that sentence means. Can you guys see that? Yes? So that's the beginning of her game plan. Here's the is. So the stuff before the is our whole. So this is our VCR cost equals. There's our is. Just put your hand down, please. The VCR cost equals is our TV cost minus that $328. And I'm okay that you put that $328 in there. The Friends VCR cost is $328 less than the TV. Can you guys see that as our game plan? Does that make sense to you guys? So here is our game plan. You have to be able to take apart that sentence that way. I want you thinking logically of what that says. So what don't I know? What don't I know? Jack? What don't I know? The cost of the TV, there's our X. So the cost of my VCR, we know, is $179 equals X minus 328. And don't put the dollars on there in the equation. So here's my equation, here's my game plan. Now, I have subtraction in my equation. What do I need to do? Mateo? Adding the opposite. The subtraction becomes addition. The number after becomes its opposite. So, Angela, what can I add to a negative 328 to make it 0? What can I add? What can I add to a negative 328 to make it 0? That is correct. So I'm going to add a positive 328 to both sides. So when I do that, I get x plus 0 equals, that's 17, carry the 1, that's 9, that's 10, carry the 1, that's 5. So x is equal to $507, and then I would write a sentence of that, but we are out of time. Are you guys cool with that? Please use those as your guide tonight on your homework. 21 and 22, use this as your guide, please. All right, you guys can pack up and